I'm going to go over the ATR process. You will have received the ATR control, the ATR template, and then the ATR process. The process is just an outline of what I hope to cover with this instructional tutorial. And so the first, you're going to open up the ATR control, and to create an ATR, you're going to use the pull downs here, and the number that's attached to the letters ATR is found right here, so that it's going to create an Excel workbook from the template. So let's go ahead and do that. Request a new ATR. You'll see that it says you've requested one. I already have one in my folder of this name, but that's okay. We can go ahead and replace it. So then the software will close when I install it, but right now I'm leaving some of it open so that I can just quickly go back and forth for the tutorial. But we'll close out all the files so that the ATR can be examined from the control if need be, if HR wants to look at the status. So let's go up to the top and go through. You can see the name of the ATR got written here. The activity state is active. There's also the option to deactivate an ATR that's already in the system, and even to reactivate one that you've deactivated. All the fields are pretty self-explanatory. They're all pull downs where I had lists. If you want something that's a typed in box to be a pull down, just provide me that list and we'll change that. As you can see, the worksheet's been changed to the ATR name. Signatures is the sheet that will pop for the 3 managers who need to look at the summary and then sign. The log sheet shows the activity on this particular ATR if you ever want to look in detail how it went through the system. The approvals is a table with each location and the who needs to see the ATR at each stage. And report is a condensed version of all the data so that we can put it into the control workbook, and we could run reports or look at all the ATRs in the system together. And selections is the table where the pull downs are created. And emails is just a tab where I use to keep track of who is on the list to see this ATR in the various stages. So if we go to the first page where the hiring manager, where the ATR would open for the hiring manager once they requested an ATR, they fill out these fields. Let's go down through. One important aspect is the locations. I would need the job titles for the other locations to add that into the selection table. So right now I have the Cary and the Houston ones. So if you change the location, you need to change the job title. And you will only see the Cary job titles. If you pick Cary, you'll only see the Houston ones if you pick Houston. And right now there's no calculation on the salary package, but if you provide a formula, we can print up an estimated salary package or range. We can do dollars, we can do euros, pounds. The equipment and system requirements, when the ATR has been all the way through the approval process, a summary of these 2 boxes will be sent to IT, and in the approvals table, that's where I would type in, I would set up the right email that should go to. So this kind of pink orange box shows the status of the ATR as it goes through the system. So each of these blocks gets filled in as the ATR goes through the system to the various people in the process. So right now this ATR is not ready, hasn't been sent. So let's go ahead and send it to Human Resource. So we will submit it, and we come down here and we submit, and it's going to query me for a job description file to attach. That can be any file. We can go, and it will copy your file to a file that matches this ATR and has the same file extension as the file that you've selected. So as you see here, I picked bingo, and it was a PDF, so my job description ATR to job description.pdf. And what the software does is create the email that needs to go to, this is the hiring manager and this is HR. And it creates a hyperlink to the file. So when Human Resources receives this email, all they have to do is click and open up the ATR, and it will pop to the correct page for them to complete their task. We're not going to send, none of these are real emails, so we won't send, so I'm going to stop that. The software would have closed at this point, but I've left it open on purpose so that we could go through this, and I'll send you the version that keeps it open. So now we're going to submit the HR is would have looked at it and they would submit. So we will do submit. And again, now it's going to the hiring manager, HR, and then it's going to the email that you provide for the first signatory. In our case, that would be Alan. And you'll see that he is getting a summary of the data in a more concise format. If he wants to just read that without popping, he can't sign here. He needs to click on the hyperlink and go to the actual ATR and sign. So we don't want to save that. And you'll see now that the software has automatically popped to the second sheet on signatures. So now Alan would not see that first page. He would come in and he will see the second, which looks like that email. It has all the summary, and then at the bottom has a place for his signature. If we don't need a real signature, if we just can use the pull downs, those time date stamp when he'd approve it. If you do need a signature, then this is the Microsoft signature line, and I could do a separate tutorial on how each person can create their official signature. If we could get rid of that, we can consolidate this and make it allow for less scrolling as you go through the software. So let's say that Alan does not approve the ATR. So we'll say he does not approve it, and then he needs to submit his status. So it submits, and again, this will create an email, and that's still going to go to the hiring manager, back to HR, and he'll get a copy. And again, the link is still there, and you can see that it was denied at the first level. So we don't need to save that. So we will, and what you'll see, the software will have closed, and we would come up to the first page again. You will see that HR has been reset to not ready. So it has to go through the process again. So they may edit something. So we're going to resubmit, and we're going to come down here and submit it. And it's going to give me a chance to change my file description if I want to. If I don't, if the one that was in there is fine, we can just cancel that. And again, it made another email. Let's see. Is behind here. So, and you can see it's resubmit now is the status. So we will close that. We don't need to send. And so now HR is going to look at it again, and they're going to resubmit to the first level, and we're going to say that it has been submitted. And you'll see the email, and it says ATR is ready for resubmit to level 1. And you can see the resubmit, and now it's back to the first. So we will not send the email, and you see it's popped to the second page automatically, and he is listed as unsigned. So this time, let's say he approves it, and we will move down and approve it. And again, the email goes to the second level now, and you can see the state resubmit, resubmit, and approved, and then the summary is below. So let's say the second level approves, because I want to show you how to also deactivate ATR. This is just the same process for each level, and each one creates the email that you can look at in detail. And so now it's resubmitted, resubmitted, approved, approved. And let's go ahead and complete our ATR. Let's say it gets approved here. So you'll see now we are going to send the list to IT. And so we're going to create 2 emails this time. So we'll look at, this is the one that goes to everybody who's seen this ATR, that it's approval complete, and you can still click on it and look at it. When you open up the ATR for the first time, Microsoft disables the macros in the editing. So you have to allow editing and enable the contents and allow any updates. And you can see, and it will show that they've all been approved. So we're not going to send that email. And then you can see this one just goes to the IT email, and it copies human resources that they got, that they were notified about the anticipated system and software requirements. So we still include the status and the name in case they need to discuss something with the hiring manager or with HR. And so you can see the basic details of the ATR are listed. The equipment and the system requirements are in the email. So we won't send that out either. So, and that is complete. We can go ahead and, the software would have closed it, but we're going to go ahead and save it and close it. And we're going to go back and put on open up the control and deactivate. So we're going to allow updates whenever we come in. This shows us, we're going to let the links go. And so it pops to the first page. So we've created 3 ATRs with the system at this point, and they're all listed. And this is the same format as the report tab for each ATR gets added here and listed. And you can see I've tested and deactivated ATR 1, and now there's ATR 2 in here. So if we go to the control and let's deactivate, and so we're going to type in the ATR we want to deactivate. Let's deactivate number 2. And I think I've got some. So it's going to send an email to everybody who is on the list and just tell them that ATR 2 has been deactivated. And you'll see the status has been changed to deactivated. And we will close out that email. And we want to save. We've opened up ATR 2 to change the status, so we want to go ahead and save it. And you'll see it's now, I think you can see it's now been deactivated. So we'll go ahead and close that out. And we want to save our changes. And if we go to ATR 2 and we go to, we should see that it's been deactivated. Yep, so this ATR has been deactivated. And again, this is whenever you are to open, you need to enable contents. So that's a really quick overview of how the system works. You can use the ATR process document that I sent to refer to the details. I went through it quickly. You're welcome to open it up and play with them. Be sure to download them into the same folder, and but don't change like any of the locations of fields. You can of course fill it out, but the software is looking for certain labels in certain places on the form. I hope that helps.